Hi everyone, it's Freya here from Avon Wildlife Trust, and today we're making the first My Wild Child film up at the Bommie at the Northern Slopes. And we're going to be taking a look at the trees that live here. Now, trees are really important because they provide a home to lots of different wildlife, including birds, like these friendly blackbirds I've got here, you might recognise from our sessions, and like squirrels, like this one, who like running up the trunks and branches of trees and looking for nuts. And trees also provide an amazing home for insects. But trees are also really important for us because they produce oxygen, which is in the air all around us that we breathe. So let's go and take a look at some of the trees that live here. Follow me. So this great big tree behind me is a willow tree. And willow trees love growing by the water. And as many of you will know, if you've come to our sessions here at the Bommie, we've got a beautiful stream that runs all the way through the site. So that's why this willow likes growing here. Let's go and have a closer look at its leaves. So the leaves on this willow tree are very long and slender, like long fingers. And the branches of the willow tree are really bendy. And willow, because it's so bendy, can be used to make lots of things. We can make things like crowns out of it, or wreaths at Christmas for your door. You can even make sculptures from it. So now I'm going to head up the slope round the side of the Bommie and see what other kinds of trees I can find. This short, scrubby kind of tree is called a blackthorn. And the blackthorn tree has small rounded leaves and big purple berries which are called sloes, and some birds love to feed on them. I can see another tree a little bit further up this path which has some big fruit growing on it that you might recognise. Who can spot the fruit growing on this tree? Can you see what they are? If you look closely, you'll see that they're apples. And some birds like to eat those too. So see if you can find this tree as you walk up the path. See if you can climb right to the top of the hill at the Bommie. There's a great view from up here. And maybe you could try rolling an apple down the hill. So whilst you're at the Bommie exploring, see if you can use your owl eyes to spot those 3 trees that I talked about. See if you can find those long spindly leaves on the willow tree, which grows by the water, by the stream, and has these long spindly finger leaves. And it also has long bendy branches that people use to make things sometimes. And then whilst you're walking up to the top of the hill of the Bommie, see if you can look out for these big dark purple berries which are called sloes, and they grow on the blackthorn tree that has these little rounded leaves, and sometimes it has big thorns on it as well. And I've just spotted with my owl eyes that this piece has lichen growing on it as well, which is this bit here. So see if you can look really closely and spot that as well. Oh, there's a little woodlouse here as well. And last but not least, see if you can spot the little apple tree that's growing on the hill as you go up to the top. And see if you can look out for the small apples that are growing on it. And the apple tree has these green crinkly leaves. And you might want to look out for some apples that might have fallen down off the tree on the ground around you, and you could take one with you and have fun rolling it down the hill at the top. So see if you can look out for those 3 trees and see if you can spot any more trees as well that I haven't mentioned. And there's a couple of other activities that you can do while you're at the Bommie as well, and I'm going to tell you what those are now. So one of the other things that you can do when you're exploring the trees is have a look at their bark, because different trees have different textures, different lines, different shapes in their bark, depending on the type of tree and depending how they've grown over the many, many years they've been alive. And to help me have a bit more of a closer look at the bark, I'm going to make a bark rubbing. So you could take with you a piece of paper and a crayon, place it on the tree, and then with your crayon, if you rub up and down, you'll start to see the pattern of the bark coming through onto your paper. And this tree that I've chosen is the ash tree. And so you can see the pattern of the bark running down in lines where my crayon has picked it up. And the other thing that you could do whilst you're out and about getting to know the trees is to see if you can see any birds living in them. And to do that you could use our garden bird detective spotter sheet. And if you've picked up one of our special My Wild Child kits, then you'll have one of these in there. But you can also print it off from our Wildlife Watch website. So you can use these, and if you watched our video a couple of months ago, you might have made a pair of toilet roll binoculars. So you could take those with you and use them to look up to the tops of the trees to find the birds. And if you haven't made a pair, they're very easy to make, and you could watch our birds video to find out how we've done it. So have fun getting to know the trees when you're out and about, and if you'd like to, you can share some photos with us on the My Wild Child Facebook group. See you soon!